one. Welcome to another episode of the History of the Bay podcast. Got to give a big shout out to all of our sponsors, especially Christopher's Bakery, who's in the building right now, is going to be in the building with us October 19th at the Midway History of the Bay Day. Make sure you get your tickets. Behind the lens, we got King Said on the boards. We got D.O. And today we got a legendary guest in the building. You can't talk about the Bay Area without talking about this guy. As a matter of fact, one of my favorite rappers from the Bay. I gotta say, man, bitch, I'm a motherfucking rap star. No, Gorilla Milk, Bela Blunt, and the Caviar.
That's right.
We got B-Legit in the house, man.
Yes, sir.
Appreciate you pulling up on us, bro.
Had to do it.
Off top. And you're gonna be rocking it in the house.
Oh, for sure.
October 19th, History of the Bay Day.
History of the Bay Day, man. It got to go down. It's going down. Yeah, I got to beat us there.
Come on, man. It's going to be big. So we got to take this opportunity to get you on a podcast, tell your story, because like I said, you can't talk about Bay Area rap without talking about B-Legit.
Okay.
So I want to go all the way back. I want to really get into it, man, and talk about the very beginning. Vallejo, California. Born and raised?
Born and raised.
Okay.
Yeah, 707 said backwards.
And you got quite a family.
Right.
Quite a musical family.
Right, that part.
So, cousins with E-40, D-Shot, Suga T, Muggsy,
yeah.
Mac Mall as well?
Mac Mall too, yeah.
Are we missing anyone?
Nah, I mean, shit, it's crazy because we'd be like popping up in shows, Kansas City, St. Louis, and we always meet new family members that we kin to. Like it's just like at the end of the day, I think we all related. You know what I mean?
That's right.
We keep going deep, but for sure, yeah. Yeah, we got a big family though.
Especially when you got those roots coming from the South and all that, right?
Coming from the South, I feel like that's where everybody, really came from as far as the blacks that's in California. They migrated from the South, from Texas, Oklahoma, Mississippi, then a little bit of the Midwest, St. Louis, and, and then parts like that. But Arkansas, for sure.
What do you think it is, man, that your family is so musically talented? What's that about, bro?
Man, I don't know. I think it's just, it be in your DNA, kind of like, like you'll always find out that your uncle or your cousin on your daddy's side, he was into this and he was into that, and it just like you so happen to fall into it. And then if you live longer and you go on with life, you find out that you got a little cousin, he making beats and he getting notoriety by majors. And you're like, wow, where'd this come from? But that's just how it goes. So, and then we came up in a time where it was new. It was a sport. It was something exciting to get into. You would have did it for free.
Yeah.
So you did it for the love of hip hop.
Yeah, and well, even before hip hop, you picked up instruments and stuff like that too.
Before hip hop, man, it was we was bouncing to the beat of the drum. We I was in the marching band. He was in the marching band. And the good thing about that, when we was in the marching band, we kind of changed the way that they did things. We started putting, like jams, like, up-to-date songs and our cadences and our drum competitions. And to come to find out, and we was just doing that not knowing that back down south, that's what they do.
Right, with the marching bands.
With the marching bands. We was doing it out of natural, so that's just letting you know how that transferred through the DNA, the music and how we get down, how we approach it. But we was Short. I think Short played drums too.
Oh yeah, I know he made those early beats too back in the day.
Yeah, that's what it be.
Okay, so Vallejo, man. So the Hillside, that's the neighborhood that she come from.
Definitely.
What was that like growing up in the 70s and going into the 80s?
Man, it was just like in the 70s, you can go to the store with no money and grab you a couple of packs of hot dogs, some bread, and tell them to put this, you sign a little note on your mama's bill. And you go home and you make the food for you and your siblings or whatever. You could leave your bike outside Nobody would steal it. If you wanted to sleep on the porch, you sleep on the porch. You know, it was just, you come home and nobody's at your house, you can go to your neighbor's house and stay there. And it was just love. And, you know, you grew up doing things. We was outside as kids, so, you know, we stickball, basketball courts, in the swamps, catching crawdads. You know, we did everything that kids do, but these kids nowadays don't do that. But, you know, we was outside with nature and getting our hands dirty, getting muddy, and just being, you know, boys. So
Yeah.
it was cool. Uncles was uncles, grandmas was grandmas, aunties was aunties.
So you had that community element, you had friends, family.
You come from a family that's family orientated. Every Thanksgiving you had, you know, Granny's house, everybody at Granny's house, at the grandparents' house. You grow up with your cousins, you see your cousins, you know, every holiday, and, you know, it was just love. You know what I mean? Church, you know, we was in the church, so we gonna see each other on Sundays, you know, playing drums and music in church and all that.
And from what I understand too, there was like a time where like damn near everybody in Vallejo got along, right? Because it was a pretty small city.
It's a pretty small city, and it was Vallejo. It wasn't segregated like, you know, Hillside, Crestside, or nothing like that. Growing up in that time, it was just when the black people migrated to the city. That was a black neighborhood, and then blacks could move over here.
Right.
So that's where you ended up at, you know. And these was working class people, you know. A lot of people came to Vallejo because of Mare Island, and I know my grandmother did. And they came, you know, for job opportunities, and they was working, and these people owned houses, you know what I'm saying? And it was cool, you know what I'm saying? And like, I belonged to the boys club, Continental Makers Boys Club, which is across town. So by me even going to that boys club, you met people from all over Vallejo. It was all love, you know what I'm saying? I was even talking to somebody like, you know, we stick together even when we got differences. You know what I'm saying? If we see somebody having a problem out of town, we all come together and we'll diffuse it or settle it or whatever kind of business we got to handle. But then we're back to having problems at home, but we're not going to let nothing happen to nobody.
Right, so, right.
Yeah. History of the Bay Day is almost here. October 19th at the Midway in San Francisco. B-Legit will be in the house, along with Souls of Mischief, mob figures doing a tribute to the Jacka, Kamaya, Drew Down, The Boy, myself, and some special surprise guests. There will be a Lifetime Achievement Award presented to Rappin' Fote, a live podcast with Chewy Gomez, a Women in Hip Hop discussion panel, the Dying Breed Graffiti Gallery with King 157 and Mark Bodie, the History of Bay Area Dance Cypher with Turf Fiends, Demons of the Mines, and Floor Gangs, and so much more. There's still pre-sale tickets available, so hit the link in the description and meet me at History of the Bay Day on October 19th.
So there was a lot of unity back then.
Yeah.
Was there a point where things started changing in the city? Like, I know there's a lot of, like, definitely a lot of transitions and changes once the 80s came around, right?
It just basically once the dope game began, you know, people started getting money, and once you start getting money, you watch a few Scarface movies, and now you got a couple of guns, and you know, you got a crew. Everybody in your crew is this, and then, you know, it's like a macho team. It's like teams. It's no different from football teams, basketball teams, and sororities and fraternities. Everybody, my side is this. We repping our team, so. That's America. Once you start repping your team, and then it might not even be the whole gang against this whole gang, but this one person had a problem with this person over a female, and then it spills into that. So that's just like some young, immature stuff. You live long enough, you grow up out of that, and thank God nobody got killed, you know, and you keep it pushing, but you try to pass it down to these people. It's kind of tough because they they own whatever they see on TV or, you know.
Yeah, that's kind of crazy, right? Like a lot of neighborhoods or like street cliques or whatever, a lot of times the beef starts over women.
Yeah, and it go back to, man, the beginning of the time.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? It's always, you know, that Jezebel.
Right. Helen of Troy and all that. Yeah.
You know, but, you know, the power of the P, you know? But, yeah, but that's what it is. I mean, you've seen some of the greatest gangsters, Bugsy Siegel went crazy over female, so.
Yeah, he did.
It can happen to the best of them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I feel like just knowing like your music, that era had like a lot of influence on you, because it's not just like we could talk about what was going on in the streets, but there's like a lot of culture that was coming out at that time, fashion, styles, the cars.
Definitely. So once you had a bag, you know what I'm saying, now you can experience life a little bit, you know what I'm saying? You can move around, you can go different places, you can buy clothes you couldn't afford, you can drive cars that you couldn't drive before. So you grow in a sense, you know, and, you know, it's like nothing's gonna last forever, but at the time it feel like it is. So you in it and you're experiencing it. So that's what life is. It's an experience. You know what I'm saying? You come in and you experience different things and see how they go and try something else and try something else. Unfortunately, some people get stuck in that loop, and you know maybe they don't make it out. You know how they go.
Well, that's the fast life, right? You never know when your time is up, so you got to enjoy it while you got it, right?
Enjoy it while you got it.
Mm-hmm.
Enjoy it while you got it.
Yeah, but I feel like I've seen some pretty ill flicks of you with like the donkey rope.
Yeah, donkey rope.
Finger rings and the.
I mean, you know,
the feeler suits and the muscle cars and all that.
When we came out with the MVP Most Valuable Players, the LP, right? Now, I was telling Lil D and Black this too, that we had first time we ever heard somebody having a record was the 6ix9ine Ville record.
Okay.
Yeah, they did a record. They was big, you know, big time on the streets.
Was that like Seagram in them, or is this before Seagram?
It was before Seagram.
Right.
They did a record. It was called The Ville, and we was like, wow, they did a record. It kind of inspired us. I mean, so even though we was already leaning towards doing the rap, we wanted to take it to the aspect of doing it ourselves independently. That's when we got with Unc and, you know, got the record pressed up. But they did it first. They did it before we did it.
Right.
And that inspired us. Didn't
you and E-40 also take time to go to college for a hot one? Grambling?
Yeah, so 40 is, he's crazy. He had the saying, you ain't doing nothing I ain't doing. You ain't finna leave me. So we was working at the Commodore's residence, and one day I told him, I said, man, I'm going to Grambling. 40 graduated a year before me. So, but, you know, we hung out every single day. So I said, man, I'm getting ready to go to Grambling. He's like, what? I said, yeah, I'm finna go. I'm enrolled. I'm gonna go to Grambling. He was like, He's like, man, you ain't finna leave me. Let me see what I can do. And we had an auntie that worked down there.
Okay.
Aunt Betty. And she pulled some strings, man, and got that man in there. And,
okay.
We hopped in the car, man, and we drove all the way to Louisiana, man. And wow, man, that was a whole trip, you know. But yeah, we went to Grambling, man. We turned that thing out. Like, we actually got famous in Grambling. I had like this Mustang, and we had like 2 12s in it. So we'd take the sunroof out and park in front of the, like where the food spot was, the cafeteria, and play music real loud, and everybody would just gather around the car, do their little dances and stuff like that. And then we finally we entered into the Spring Talent Show and did an alma mater rap. about the school and became instant stars on the campus.
Wow.
Yeah, instant stars. And we had Donkey Roast. We was fresh.
That's right.
We was fresh.
That's right. So the hip hop that was coming out at the time, that was already having an influence on y'all, and you was thinking, all right, this is something we can get into.
Definitely. So, I mean, before we went to Grambling, we used to listen to a lot of East Coast rap, like Scott LaRock, Boogie Down Productions, and just all of them, man. So we used to listen to him, and then before he had like these electric drums, and then we went to Radio Shack and got a reverb with a mic, and we used to get some turntables. So we used to rap over friends' instrumentals and do silly stuff like that. So we kind of was playing with it before we went to Grambling. Then when we got to Grambling, we met this dude named Waldo Bensworth, and that's my dude. He rapped. He was from Oakland. And, we just kind of formed a group and started rapping. And shit, we got famous on campus to the point that they wanted to take us home to New Orleans for the holidays. It was like, wow, okay. So once we got famous on campus, we did a year at Grambling, and we came back. And then once we came back, that was it. We got straight to the real rap. I mean, that's when we got to the records.
Okay, so most valuable players.
Yes.
The King's Men.
All the King's Men.
Wow. So that was you, 40, and D-Shot.
Yes, sir.
And so you say you were inspired by like 6ix9ine.
That was local inspiration as far as we can do it.
Yeah.
We can put a record together.
What about Too Short?
Oh, that was like number one. That was like we was getting cassette tapes. From K-Pool. Way back in the day.
Dub tapes.
A Too Short. Because we had family in Oakland, cousins in Oakland. So they'd get a Too Short tape. We was getting the special requests. I know them all. I know, for sure.
What about Magic Mike and Calvin T?
For sure, 100%. That's like, man, that's local. That's local. That was the game battery. Them two, that Short and Calvin T and Magic Mike, that was the game battery in the back. I would say, just the hip hop aspect of it. It was like, like you say, like Run DMC and Houdini and, people like that. But then you mix that with the game aspect of it and interacting on how we live in our culture, how we get down out here, it resonated. So that's what kind of molded our way into doing what we did. We was mob music. They was more funk on the dangerous music shit.
Right.
Ours was a little bit more sinister, but similar.
Right. So you decided to do it independently with your first group. Who did the production on the King's Men?
On the King's Men, that was James Early, man. So back in them days, this is like 88, right? So 88, you got hammered down on Sonoma Boulevard, drop Porsches, drop Benzes, hella cars lined up back to back in this building. We like, damn, who's that in that building like that? You know what I'm saying? And it was Felton Pilot. So one day, when all the cars wasn't there, we went and knocked on the door. And we was like, man, look, we trying to record, we trying to do a record. And he lined us up with James Early, and we made a couple of records in there. Mm-hmm. It was our first time going to the studio, doing studio recording on the real studio.
Got you. And you mentioned your uncle, so that would be St. Charles, correct?
Oh, good old Saint, yes, sir.
So that's who had the game of the music business, right?
Yeah, so Saint had already been independent with the music business doing gospel, right? So he had already put a gospel record out, a 45, back when they had 45.
Yep.
So we thought that was a big deal back then. So he already had connections with, all the printing places and what we need to do, one sheets and distributors and all that. So when we got serious and told them we wanted to do it, we huddled up and we were like, let's do it. So we didn't have no distribution or nothing. We pressed up albums because that's what was going on at this time. This 1988. It was albums.
Right.
You know?
Right.
So what we did was we went to liquor stores and around in Vallejo and we put them up front on consignment. You know what I'm saying? And went to different barbershops and beauty shops and you know, and they had record stores back then.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? They did have record stores, like that sold records. They actually sold records. So,
But you're targeting these hood hotspots.
right, the hood hotspots. Because it's like we was already local celebrities.
Right.
So now your local celebrity got a record.
Right. Someone's going in the beauty shop like, look at Earl and Brant.
Mm-hmm.
They got a record?
Just like that. because, you know, it was love, you know, and it was support. They was happy for us.
Right.
They supported it. So, we put the record out and, you know, we was only looking for some local, you know, see what it is. But it also molded us too because we had some meetings at record pools. I forgot what record pool it was. And when we went in the record pool, we was sitting in there and the guy came in. 40 knows exactly who it is. He never forgets. But this guy came in and he didn't know we was the clique, or actually MVP at the time. He didn't know that we was them. And he was like, man, you heard this record? Man, this shit's mad whack. He says, motherfucker rap like Woody Woodpecker on crack. Right? I was like, whoa, that was a blow, right? You know what I'm saying? It was like, whoa. But then it also was motivation. And that's when we were like, all right. So we went back and we did an EP called Let's Side. And that's when we got with Mike Mosley, Sam Bostic, Studio Tone.
Right.
And put that mob hat on.
Right.
And that's when that began.
We're going to take a quick break from the episode to introduce you to one of our sponsors, Christopher's Bakery, and he's here in the building today. What's up, Chris?
Yeah, man, aloha, man. It's good to be here, man, representing Christopher's Bakery, man.
Yeah, we got my boy Christopher in the building. He's also going to be with us at History of the Bay Day, October 19th at the Midway. It's going down.
Yeah, come to the rooftop, man. I'm excited. Map's going to be there, Christopher's Bakery in the building, giving out a bunch of stuff. So come holla at a play, man.
What made you start this brand and how'd you get into this business?
Moving from Hawaii to the Bay a long time ago, just naturally, organically evolved into this.
You collabing with the homie Cosmo. How'd you link with Cosmo?
I've known Cos a while through my boy Max. We just both got a good palate and love the culture. I'm always bringing my favorite Hawaii treats to life through the product. So we got this drop, Shave Ice, and actually the last one, Tiger's Blood, is inspired by his favorite Shave Ice flavor. That's
what's up, bro. Thank you, Chris, man. Appreciate you. I'm really appreciate partnering with you for the event and for the podcast, man.
Yeah, I'm stoked. Like I said, I'm excited and I appreciate the opportunity.
Yes, sir. Let's keep building. Yes, sir. Yeah. The origins of mob music.
Mob music.
So that also, I mean, I haven't heard that Kingsman album. I gotta go dig that up one of these days. But just looking at it from the outside, looking in, it looked like y'all decided to go a little more gritty, a little more raw, a little less hip hop and more Bay Area authentic type of street sounds. Is that correct?
Well, in the beginning, it wasn't cool to cuss on records. If you had cuss words, they didn't want to hear it. It was very strict, you know what I'm saying? So we was trying to make records for the radio, because that's what we thought we had to do. So we're trying to make kind of like a LL Cool J, Thought I Could Trust a Girl, was kind of like I Need Love type of situation, you know, spin off. So we did something like that. We did Kingsman, but that really wasn't us.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So when we went back and did us, that's when we changed our name to The Clique. And now it's me, Shot, Suga, and D-Shot. 40. and we the click, and we doing List Side, and now we coming with the culture because now that EP has a Vogue on it.
Yep.
Seen it with some money around it. It's letting you know,
this is some fly D-boy shit right here.
Here we come.
This is some shit to side to and get some money to.
Right. Yeah. There we at. Yeah.
So, and what was did you notice like things start to change and pick up once that dropped? Was it like an instant thing, or did it take some time to build up?
Well, it's like this. We was in the streets at once upon a time, and what it was costing versus the profit wasn't worth the risk.
Okay.
Right?
Talking about the consequences of the activities.
It just wasn't there. It was fading out. So,
right.
We got into this music and we sold 5,000 cassettes at that time. And I think we made like 40 bands. And a light went off.
Yeah.
This is it.
Right.
Everybody had an album after that.
Mm.
You know what I'm saying? We did the Click album. Then everybody had a solo album. You know what I'm saying? So everybody was getting, part of the pie when it was good to get.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I feel like that also, like when you have a group, but everybody's also still doing their solo thing,
right?
It makes what everybody else does more strong.
It does. It's like everybody picking up a wing.
Yeah,
you take the south wing, I'll take the north wing.
Yep.
Yeah, that's just how it was.
And the production is like similar to Sam Bosick, Mike Mosley, Studio Tone. Y'all rapping on each other's songs. Yeah. So it's like, it's all promoting each other. And this is all coming out under your family's own label, Sick Wid It Records.
Yeah, me and 40 was owners of Sick Wid It.
Okay, so y'all decide to like found that together.
That's correct.
And this is under the guidance of St. Charles. Because I feel like one thing about y'all, the clique, is like, I feel like the longevity y'all have now is because your business was straight back then. Like y'all understood marketing, promotion, getting out in the streets, getting dealing with the stores.
We was on the ground with it. So the thing was, we was hustlers from the gate, right? So now, even say like when List Side came out, okay, we got it at the distro, but it ain't in Rainbow Records, it ain't in Warehouse Records, it ain't over here yet, right? So we got to come up with a clever way to get it in there. Now, we working with the moms and pops, and how we work with the moms and pops is they gonna buy a certain amount. Say they buy, 500 cassettes. We gonna give them 100.
Okay.
You feel me?
Mm-hmm.
So, and also
promotional
here. Yeah, but do what you gonna do with them. We're not gonna put no hole in them.
Mm-hmm.
Nothing like that. They yours. You know what I'm saying? And also, we gonna give you something for that section in that right there on your wall right there, and we're gonna put all our shit up there, and we're gonna cash you out for it.
So you had the Sick Wid It section.
Sick Wid It section in every mom and pop store, right? And we working with them, so you work with people, they work with you. So that's how we had that relationship with the moms and pops. But then when it came down to the retail, the stores got to order it. So in order for them to order it, we had to trick them a little bit. So we started sending people in all the stores with the cassettes. And they put them inside the thing, and then they walk up to the counter and try to get it ringed up, and then it won't show. And like, no, why people keep coming here? Right. We don't have it in our thing. So then they called the one stop and, hey, you got this click, List Side EP? And like, yeah, we got it. Like, yeah, let us get some of that. It went from that to being #1 in all the stores. You know what I'm saying?
Damn. So yeah, y'all had a real serious approach with the business, obviously.
Then as far then we was hands on with the people. Like we would go to like Stockton, we'd go do a show, and then from the show next day we'd go do a barbecue in the park.
Wow.
We go on to play dominoes with all the fellas in the hood.
The factors, the local factors.
All the factors, we kissing the babies.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? And we getting drunk.
Right.
And we got jugs of Carlo Rossi, and then we turned it from jugs of Carlo Rossi to big jugs of Hurricane. You know what I'm saying? So we had a lot of fun. But, we was hand to hand, on the ground with it in the beginning,
And your debut project was B-Legit the Savage Trying to Get a Buck.
Yes, sir.
With you running in the liquor store with the shiesty on and the yistel out.
So, and that was like 91, 92, right? So that, I know we used to mark the date up a little bit because we figured it was going to take a while to circulate. So even though it might have dropped to 91, we might have put 92 on the cassette. That was a trick that we used to do. So when they get it, it won't seem like
okay, right. So it's like it's hot off the press.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, brand new.
It's new. It's been out a year.
Yeah.
Yeah. So anyway, I tell a lot of people that, like, a lot of our shit is documented. It ain't, you just go back and check it out. So if you look on that cover, I got a P89 Ruger with a 30 stick in it. That was in 92.
That's pretty advanced. Right. That was high technology back then.
Y'all talk about these sticks now. I had the stick
right
back then. And it's documented. It's on the album cover.
Right.
Yeah, so.
Well, I think that's one thing, like I said, about y'all music. It's very authentic. It's very there's just a lot of games, there's a lot of sharp shit going on with y'all music, man.
It's authentic because, we was, part of it. We grew with the culture and shit, we talked about it.
But that's hip hop to me. It's like taking some of this stuff maybe is negative, but you find the dope parts about it and you turn it into something positive.
Right, and it's just the way you flip it and try to put some game with it to let them know, outsmart the popo or, you know what I'm saying? Don't lay with it and, you give them little jewels if you're going to be in the game. Here goes some stuff not to do.
Yeah, for sure. For sure. So now it's like official, like y'all are professional musicians, we're record label owners, executives.
Right. Still independent though.
Still independent, yeah.
So at this time, we come out with the Click Down and Dirty. And when we do the Click Down and Dirty, we do our first video, Tired of Being Stepped On. And it kind of showcases, the first time seeing Vitti. It's a lot of people in that video, Sibo in that video. But it was basically our first video. And at that first video, Sibo talk about that song, Realer Than Real. It was a shootout at our very first video. So, that thing was crazy. But that was the beginning of having to separate. You're starting to get a little bit too much for the city. Yeah,
you're too accessible.
Too accessible.
Target on your
back, and it's like, okay, it's like you got things are happening for you in a positive direction, and it's not making sense to us now because we're on planes going to Texas and hooking up with Jay Prince and Scarface and all them, and we doing shows and doing all that type of stuff. All the stuff back here, it's just it wasn't worth it no more. So,
right.
You know what I mean? So we locked in. I mean, we locked all the way in to the point to where after the Click album, 40 dropped Mailman, and that's when the Captain Sabo came out.
Mm-hmm.
And that's when recognition started really booming from Louisiana, Texas, Arkansas, all down south first, before it even got back to California. We was booked. We was on the road doing shows all through the Midwest and down south with Captain Sabo. That got the attention of a few companies, but Jive was the first one that stepped up, and they wanted to talk, and they already knew what was going on in the Bay. They had Too Short, of course, and they had
Right.
So it was like,
I think, did they already have Souls of Mischief by then too?
yeah.
I think Casual as well
Yeah.
might have been on there.
So they was like, man, we get you guys, y'all gonna be like our Death Row. So we sit down and being that we had already knew the business and what kind of money was being made, we was selling. I sold 100,000 trying to get $1 with no promotion.
Right. Just hand-to-hand, mom-and-pop stores, consignments.
It debuted at number 41 on the Billboard and everything.
Wow.
So, we was eating. So when we go sit down with Barry Wise and the attorneys, we kind of like, here, this is what we already got going. If you can put the bells and whistles on what we already got going and let us still have this much what we're doing, and we could talk about something. So the deal was unorthodox. They made it out. They gave us what we wanted, and that's when we went with them, and they got the next click. They got that album too, and then they got the next one. But they put it out after we put it out.
So it was a label deal.
A label deal
for Sick Wid It, and by then it's not just a click. Like y'all had a whole roster. You had
we had Players Trying to Strive. We had Low Bruce. We had Celtic Cell, Suga T. It was Funk Mob.
Yeah,
Diddy.
Yeah, so now everybody's coming up. Everybody's getting a major label machine behind independent game, basically.
They're getting independent. I mean, they're getting a major distribution, and then it's up to us as Sick Wid It to promote.
To promote and market it.
And market.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And make sure it goes where it's supposed to. Like you said, all these, you're developing these markets. It's a trip to hear you talk about the South, because it's like, I feel like y'all still got that on lock. Like, there's hella Southern rappers that were like influenced by the click.
Yeah.
That sound, the production, the rapping style, the content, all of that translated hella well to the South.
It did. I mean, if you listen to the music, I mean, especially like when Outkast, in their beginning music and stuff like that, it was similar to Bay Area, laid back, bassline type of music. And
car music for the whip.
Music, ride music, you know what I'm saying? Soulful music.
Right.
You know what I mean? We did a lot of songs with, of course, Vitties, singing and stuff like that. Mixing that with the mob sound was just something that hadn't been done. Right.
So now you got soul singing with mob music. Yeah, Levitti, he played a big role, huh?
Yeah, definitely he played. Man, he was the Nate Dogg of the crew.
Yeah, huh?
Yeah.
Where did he come from?
That's a cousin.
Oh, it's another cousin.
That's a cousin, man.
Damn.
Family member.
Wow.
We had the Salter Twins. They was on D-Shot album. They sing too. It's more little cousins. Work Dirty and all them. They still, that's still family.
Wow. Yeah. And then by this time too, like before we talking about like Too Short and Calvin T, but now like there's a whole Bay Area music scene too that's starting to emerge, right?
Yeah. So. During this time, around the early 90s, you can go to Funky Fat Graphics, and you're going to see more independent artists probably than from the Bay Area than anywhere else.
Right.
Everybody got a poster. Everybody was rapping because I felt like hip hop was taking off, and it was the new dope game. So everybody was trying to jump in it. So, and everybody was following the steps of doing the independent, because now you got a place, Funky Fat Graphics, then you got Walt, he the distro.
City Hall Records.
City Hall Records.
Mm-hmm.
So you got everything you need basically right here. You got the studios, and then you get your stuff mastered and get it printed up, take it over there, and that's what it was. Because at that time, when we was breaking through and Too Short was on and Spice One was on, the Bay was on fire. So they was taking anybody from, Mac Dre too, we're not gonna forget him.
For sure.
They was just taking anything. They was hungry for it. So if you had something that sound decent and you was from the Bay, you can go to Tacoma, Seattle, all these places that was hot, that was supporting us, was gonna accept you.
Right. There's a whole
Kansas City.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Whole market, Denver.
Yeah, we had a bunch
Portland.
We had a bunch of sister cities.
Right. Mm-hmm. What about one thing I've heard 40 talk a lot about, because his style's so unorthodox and y'all music is different compared to everything else going on in hip hop at the time.
Right.
Did you ever feel like some people in the industry didn't understand it?
Or off top.
Yeah.
Dude, it was a push to purpose, basically, because, we knocked on the doors. We was at the Gavins. We was at the Jack the Rappers. We gave our cassettes out at that time. And didn't nothing transpire of it. But at the same time, we making money doing it locally, and we're fine with that. But we we still feel like, we need our recognition, and we just felt like it's gonna be tough coming from out of the Bay Area, because when all they was saying was West Coast, when they think about West Coast, they just think about LA.
Mm-hmm.
So it was just tough, but we kept on kicking, you know what I'm saying? And then, things happen.
Well, especially Vallejo too, right? They definitely ain't heard of Vallejo.
Right. You have to, you say you from Northern California, or where you from, Oakland?
Right.
Or they be like, my nigga Bela from Oakland. No.
Right.
So I'm from the 7, baby.
Right.
Yeah.
And so your first release on Jive was the Hemp Museum?
Hemp Museum. Yes, Hemp Museum. That was a trip, because there was a lady that worked at Jive. Her name was Laurel Dan. So I was in Seattle when I made Ghetto Smile. Kevin Gardner, they had made it. He had sung the hook, and I made the song, and I was like, I like the song, I'm gonna send it to you. So I sent it to her, and then she was like, oh wow, this is so great. She said, you know what? She said, this would be good if we can get Daryl Hall to sing.
Right, Daryl Hall of Hall & Oates. Because was that a sample of that song, Sarah Smile? Uh-huh.
Yeah. So she was like, I'm good friends with Woo. Let me see if I can make this happen. And then she called me back probably about a week later. She said, you know what? I got some good news. She said, he heard the song. He said, believe me, he has a box of cassettes, remake songs that people want to remake and all that type of stuff, and he turned them all down. He said he loves this song.
Damn.
And he said, yes, he'll do it, and he's going to do the video.
Damn.
And he only taking 66%, which was cool.
Yeah.
He left me with some meat on his bone.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So I ended up flying to Connecticut and going to his house. The boy get high off a bottle Coca-Cola. That's his high.
What? Drinking hella soda?
Just, it got to be in the bottle. The
glass bottle.
Glass bottle. Uh-huh. He don't drink out the can.
Okay.
That's what he like.
Okay.
Coca-Cola. So, he was a cool dude, and his engineer came down and mixed it and everything, and it was a cool experience. That was a good thing about being on majors. They will take care of it.
Yeah, for sure.
But
You got that machine.
But you will see it on your statement too.
Right. They're gonna recoup whatever they gotta spend.
They gonna recoup it all.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Is that the album also the one that has City to City on it?
Okay, so bang. I do the song with Corrupt and 40.
All right.
Check it out.
Mm-hmm.
They wanted to shoot that video. They was like, yeah, West Coast, we got Corrupt, Dog Pound's hot right now. Want to do that song. And then Ice Cube had a movie out. They took Ghetto Smile and put it, in part of the little movie video or whatever they did. Part of the video in the movie or something. I don't know what they did with it, something. But anyway, it got picked up for a soundtrack. And so they made that a single. City to City was never a single.
Oh, really?
It was just on the album. It was on the B-side. It was a B-side. And it became the hottest record on the album.
Was that from like the Bay Area picking it up and radio DJ? Like who broke that record?
You know what? It was a natural record. It was just DJs picking it up. It wasn't nobody. I didn't go to no mixers. I didn't take nobody's lunch. They picked it up on their own.
Wow.
It picked up on it picked up on its own, and it lasted. I mean, they play it to this day.
Yeah, that's surprising because, man, I'm a KMEL baby, so That's like some of the first Bay Area music I remember hearing.
Right.
When I was too young to really understand what she was talking about on that song. But I knew it sounded good.
Yeah, exactly.
Wow, okay. So yeah, now your career is like off and running. Another big highlight too, I feel like, was working with Tupac because you got to appear on All Eyes on Me.
Yeah, that was dope. I mean, that dude, you know what I'm saying? When I met him through Richie Rich. And I think he had just did, was it Juice? I think he had just did Juice. And then he was out here. And when I met him, he kind of blew me away because he knew all about me.
Really?
He knew all about me. He knew my lyrics, from songs. I was like, man, this crazy, this nigga. I'm looking at him like he on the movies and he know my shit. But he had been over Ren and, dealing with the Richmond dudes, so they was grinding, that was grinding music, so they was playing it, so he knew all about it. He knew all about us, you know what I'm saying, and it was just cool. So it's just like, he was like, man, when I go down there and start doing, my videos and shit, man, all y'all gotta come. Basically, before that happened, like, when he went to jail, that stuff he did in Atlanta, I guess. And Me Against the World was out.
I think that was when he had the case in New York.
Okay, that was New York, okay. Mm-hmm. Well, yeah, we ended up going down to L.A. and we was in that video too, where they had the Tupac lookalikes and everything.
Oh, right.
Yeah. We was in that video in the church and everything, and, so we held it down while he was gone, but then when he came back, he was like, it's up, like, y'all finna come to work with me, we finna, get it in. He came down, he was going to court in Vallejo, and he came to the studio. I mean, I don't know how the whole Vallejo found out so quick, but there was about 3,000 people outside that studio when he pulled up. And he went outside with his shirt off, showed love to everybody, so, it's cool. Yeah, we did some songs that never got released, too. Studio Tone still got them, Man the Vote.
Well, Rick Rock was talking about that big session in L.A. On this podcast. He talked about how y'all were down there with Sibo, 40, D-Shot, Richie Rich,
yeah.
Mike Mosley.
Yeah. We was doing, there was a lot going on. So we was shooting California Love remix video where we was all up at this mansion. Mm-hmm. We was shooting that video during the day. And then we came back from that video and then we went straight to the studio and he got, it's like maybe 2 or 3 sessions going at the same time. Right over there, that boy just, you know what I'm saying? So, man, it was so much going on, so much weed smoking, man, I had fell asleep. And he woke me up like, hey, man, get in there and do your part. I'm like, okay, bet. So I got up there and did my part. And that was it. It was off to the next video shoot. Motherfuckers was moving.
Mm-hmm.
But during that time, he had played the Machiavelli Illuminati album, and it was like something I ain't never heard before. I was like, whoa, that shit was crazy. So, yeah, I remember Spice One was there too.
Right.
Yeah, him and Spice used to run together all the time.
Did he ever like have plans to work with y'all beyond that? Like, cause I know he was gonna start his own label, and he had the One Nation album. He was
doing
working
One
on.
Nation album. Basically, like all the people that was on the All Eyes on Me album is the people who he really fuck with, like Buckshot and people who he was really down with. And
Duck Down and all them.
Yeah. You know what I'm saying? So. He got a chance to showcase that, but he definitely had plans on, getting his one nation thing together. He was kind of like done with thug life, and was finna try to bust open something different. His real mission.
Man,
so
that would have been so sick if that came together.
Yeah.
I feel like another thing about this time is like, the media's pumping the East Coast, West Coast thing.
Yeah.
But I feel like y'all were still in the mainstream spotlight, but y'all managed to stay out of that.
Bro, let me tell you something. We was in LA. I was in LA. During this time in LA, you had like Method Man, Ja Rule, all of them had like spots in LA. They was all in Hollywood. We'd go out, hang out, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. It was like the industry, it was industry friendly. That's everybody from the industry kind of hung out in LA. Well, when Biggie got shot, on the news, they put the picture of me, not a picture of me, but my video of with Daryl Hall.
What?
Saying Biggie Smalls got shot.
What?
Yeah, bro, that shit was on the news. My video, they had it all fucked up.
Hell
no. What I'm saying? Yeah, man, that shit was crazy. And all them niggas was like, man, shit, it was all fucked up. And they was gone. But it's crazy, that was some wild times in hip-hop because, everybody was getting along.
Yeah.
Everybody was just trying to really, man, Big, he was in the West Coast, like, I'm not tripping, like, it's a perfect example what Pac was saying, like, the media and shit blew it up bigger than what it really was.
Right. Yeah, it seems that way. Yeah. I wanted to ask you about another person you collaborated with who's no longer with us, which is Mac Dre.
Oh, yeah, that's my dog.
Yeah, because you appeared on the Rapper Gone Bad album.
Yeah. I appeared on the Rapper Gone Bad. There you go.
Is that for that?
This is like,
session for that album?
This is way before that. It's probably like this is the first Grill studio.
Damn.
Me and him collabing on something.
That's a sick flick.
Yeah. No, man, I had New Dre. We grew up in Vallejo, man. So he was a little younger than me, and they was running around. They was doing their thing, just fucking around, rapping. He always had like a little mini studio, and we was, in the streets doing what we do. D-Shot used to go with one of his partner's sister. So we used to see them all the time, like, every day, like, And then we had a record, and they thought that was pretty dope. And he was like, man, tell me what you got to do to get a record, and, and all that type of stuff. So he was influenced by that, too. And, Kyrie and all them, they got into it. They got into the music, that drop of music and stuff. And it was cool. Like, it was good. We liked it. More the merrier, you know. We was V-Town proud at one point, you know, in 2D.
Yeah.
They was the first one with the record deal. So
Hell yeah.
we was like, okay, you know, they put the spotlight over here a little bit, you know what I'm saying? Then we came through with the independent. And then Mac Dre came through, and then, you know, we was the city over here in Vallejo, you know, where they go on the West Coast, they accept LA first, then they would go to Oakland, you know, then maybe Vallejo.
Right.
Then Frisco.
Right. Yeah, it's real talk.
Yeah. But yeah, for sure.
Well, I feel like it was kind of like big for y'all to collaborate, because before he went to jail, there was like tensions between the two neighborhoods. And
yeah. And, you know, like, once again, the tension be between maybe one or two people, not so much this side versus this side, but it just got to look like that, and it got to be like that, because, you know, that's your team. You know what I'm saying? So, but if you're a man and you see another man and you're like, this nigga ain't did nothing to me, I'm gonna do something. You know, if you logical and you off into something else, like this, me and this man come from that, but we're doing music now.
right.
You know what I'm saying? We're smart enough to know that, hey, look, this is a whole different, you know.
You can separate yourself from it,
you know what I'm
yeah.
saying? And then, you know, it's just like that. So it was cool. Like, you know, we never had no animosity like that. Not like that. It was just some friendly rap beef. You know, a couple of bumps and bruises in the road, but that's growing up. You know?
Yeah. Well, I mean, he ended up going to prison, like, just as his career was taking off, and kind of like when y'all really started taking off, so it was like kind of different directions for a second too.
Yeah, different directions. So when he came home, he's a congratulator. Like, he was so proud to be from Vallejo, and that we was doing it when he was in there. He was like, ooh, like Cuddy, like, man, you know. He said, I was, you know, he was like, I was letting niggas have it, nigga. I'm from the V, you know what I'm saying? So that's the way we naturally are, you know what I'm saying? So he was like, you know, he was proud of that. Couldn't wait to get out, find himself, and get back to it. And that's what he did, you know. As you know, when he first came home, he was rapping a little different. Then he went back to being the character. I was like, boy, you got to go back to being that character, boy. And he did this thing, you know what I'm saying? He didn't even get to see how big he got, but, you know.
I know, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, he really, more people got hip to him after he passed, I think.
Yeah.
Well, that's dope. I mean, your career in the clique and as a solo artist, like, it's just been hella consistent over the years.
Yeah, you know, I always, when Pac was alive, he'd be like, I'm gonna go hard, you know, during my time. He said, then, you know, I'm gonna just come out when needed, you know what I'm saying, or just, you know, pop my head out, you know what I'm saying, when it's appropriate to do so, you know. So, you know, sometimes people people in your region accuse you of hogging up the lane.
Sure.
Get somebody else's chance.
Yeah.
So there's your chance.
Yeah.
And do your thing, shine. Ain't nobody holding you back, baby. You know, get yours. It's a room for everybody. So,
well, yeah, because you had a little bit of time between albums here and there.
Yeah, you know, but during them times that I never missed the 40 album.
Right.
So that's probably why people still, like, you know, hear me. And I did a lot of features in between. But like during the hyphy movement, when it was really, really, really hyphy, I didn't really have hyphy music out.
You're not a very hyphy dude.
No, I'm a laid back dude.
Yeah.
I'm a laid back dude. So I kind of let them run with that movement and do their thing. I supported them, you know what I'm saying? But my dominoes didn't fit in the hyphy thing. So, you know, I kept it low key with my mob. So
Right.
that's what people love you for. Just do you.
Right.
Just do you, man.
Do what they know you for and keep it consistent.
And whatever you got, they fuck with you, you know.
By that time, y'all were off Jive, too, right?
Right. So we did the Jive. I did the Jive album with Hemp Museum when I came back with Hempin Ain't Easy, on Hempin Ain't Easy, came out through Koch Records. What happened with the, at that time, Jive had like 2 boy bands, NSYNC and Backstreet Boys, right? And it was causing some type of conflict of interest where the lawyers and shit was all wrapped up in the thing. And I was kind of like just sitting there. And I was like, this album is getting dated, you know, woo, woo, woo. And then once again, Laurel Dan, the same lady that got me Daryl Hall, she was like, I got this guy named Alan Grumblack that's starting this label over there called In the Paint. That's called In the Paint. And you know, he's doing good with these people or whatever. You know, who he'll go ahead and buy that album from him and put it out to his situation. So I did that, and I think I did that album in like '98, and it came out in like 2000. But I ended up doing the video and a couple of videos. And
was that the one with the song with Too Short on there? So International? Or?
No, that's,
okay.
That was the next one.
Okay.
So that album did pretty good, though. That Hempin Ain't Easy, it did pretty good over there at Koch Records.
Oh, that's the one with Bitch, I'm a Rap Star, right?
No.
No? Oh, shit.
Is that Rap Star on that one? No, Rap Star is on...
It's on Hempin Ain't Easy.
It's on Hempin Ain't Easy.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, that is it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I got so many...
no, I know.
I forget. But anyway, plus I've been smoking this man weed. Anyway. So we did the Hempin Ain't Easy over there. And then I followed up with another album in 2002, Hard to Be Legit. And that's the one with like Rick Rock production. And it's a lot of songs on there too.
Yeah, updated your style a little bit.
Yeah, it was coming out, mashing a little harder on it.
Yeah. That So International got some radio spins.
So International was the lead off single on that album, and then definitely got some recognition, some spins, radio during that time.
Hell yeah.
You gotta understand, I went from LP. That's how long I've been in the game, from LP, cassette, then the CD. And now we...
Digital. Records, tapes, CDs, MP3s, streams.
I slid in right after the A-track expired.
That's crazy, man. That's a lot of longevity, bro. Like,
you feel me? And I got music on all platforms.
Right.
Yeah.
Hey, one thing I almost forgot to ask you about, but man, I would have been mad if I forgot about this, bro.
All right.
There's a blunt that's named after you.
So
how did that happen?
I'm gonna tell you how it originated. That blunt originated in Grambling University, right? I had some partners out of Phillies that smoked spliffs. And I was like, what the fuck is a spliff? A spliff is when they put the weed in with the tobacco or whatever and roll it back up. And I was like, fuck that. I'm finna put some weed in it and I'm gonna extend it. The reason why I had to extend it was when I was smoking joints, we would, we'd all huddle up in the dorm. And we do these things like, we either have a carnival, that's where we have a bunch of food, or we have like a smoke out and put a keg in the middle. So we have put a keg in the middle, get the smoke out. But every time I pass the joint, that's it. It never comes back. No matter how fast you roll it, by the time it gets over there,
that's just going, right? Yeah.
So I came up with, man, I'm finna make one this long. So by the time it get back, we can pass it a few times. And that's where that came from. Just extending Phillies. We was smoking Phillies back then. So then when I came home, my partner D-Day, when I hooked up with him, we was doing an album cover shoot. He said, nigga, I'm finna roll you something nice. And he rolled that Garcia Vega. And I had it, he was doing the shoot, and I was taking pictures with it. I had it like this and like that. And then it ended up on the CD cover, and then the artwork. So from there, everybody started calling anything that was this long.
Okay.
You get it?
Well, yeah.
B-Legitter.
I was always taught that it was basically 2 blunts in one.
2 blunts. You can go 2. You can go 3.
You can go 3. Okay.
Yeah, some people go 2. Most people go. I say anything that's over this long is a Bela. It's just extended.
Okay.
And Too Short, when 2 Chainz came in, he started calling them extendos, and then he was catching flack from from the Bela fans. Hey man, that's a Bela. I'm like,
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, I definitely smoked a couple Belas at some house parties back in the days.
Yeah.
I couldn't imagine doing them with Vegas though, because
yeah, I mean, we was young and experiment.
Right.
And they got the green leaf on it, but niggas left them alone because when you smoke the Vegas, you start seeing these little black things floating in the air. Niggas be like, what the fuck is that? That shit going in your lungs.
Yeah, for sure.
Couldn't leave that shit alone.
Well, shit, man. I mean, we just covered like damn near 40 years in the game, bro.
Not that long, but it's a lot.
Almost.
Well, when we went to childhood with the 70s, yeah.
Yeah.
Now we did,
Yeah,
sure.
man. I mean, one thing about you is like you never hear your name in like some messy shit. There's no scandals out there. There's no footage of you running from the cops or tweaking out. Like you just been like chilling, like.
Yeah, that ain't my style. That ain't even our style, man.
For sure.
You know what I'm saying? We know better, so we do better.
That's right.
You know what I'm saying? We had our times and that bump our heads and make our mistakes and realize that, hey, that ain't for us. Jail ain't for me. Ain't nothing cool about going to prison. Ain't nothing cool about killing and none of that. But so you just try to avoid things. It's just having a little bit of game about yourself. I mean, just avoid the bullshit. You know what I mean? And try to be as fair as possible. It's simple rules. Just treat people like you want to be treated. You know what I mean? And stay out of people's business and mind your own. You'll be all right.
Absolutely. And I think that's something that people are always going to respect you for, is being a solid OG.
Yeah.
Keeping it going, not like still coming out, making it look good without falling off, like staying in your own lane.
Staying in my own lane and like I said, I try to support, the up and coming too as well, you know what I'm saying? Because that's what I wanted when I was in, support, you know what I'm saying? It means a lot, sometimes. During my career, when I'm out, I meet a lot of people that's from the penitentiary, that did time. And they come shake my hand and they squeeze it real hard and they pull me close and be like, bro. And he's gonna look me in my eyes. I be like, I can't look you in your eyes right now because I'm loaded. They be like, no, but bro, you pulled me through.
Mm-hmm.
You got me through. You got me through. You and your family, man, y'all got me through some real dark times. I wouldn't have made it. Like he said, like for real, like, and them type of attributes mean more than like the plaques on the wall, even though, we got them too. But that knowing that you really helped somebody through a difficult time in their life is like, all right, I did my job,
That's some real talk right there, bro.
Yeah.
And that's what makes real music. The power of music, the power of hip hop. That's what creates that longevity, because you can have the hottest dance, the hottest quick little single, the trendiest thing on TikTok right now, but
Right.
like you said, when someone's growing up with their music, going through real life with their music, and still rocking with you,
you become the soundtrack to their, to their glory days.
Yeah.
And the music that you laid down at that time, they were probably, oh, that's when life was so great. I had 10 cars, and it just soundtrack to their life. So that they appreciate that.
absolutely, man. Well, we're gonna end it there, brother.
Yes, sir.
I'm sure we'll run it back one of these days. I'm sure you got more stories.
Oh yeah, man, I got plenty of stories.
But in the meantime, October 19th, boys and girls, History of the Bay Day. B-Legit's gonna be in the house with Souls of Mischief, Mob Figures, the boy Kamaya, Drew Down, and your boy Dregs One, and much more.
Yeah.
I can't wait to see you rock it, bro. Can you do Rap Star for me?
Man, I'm gonna do Rap Star for you, bro.
Yes.
I'm gonna do Rap Star for you.
Yeah.
You got
Yes. That's what's up, man. I can't wait. Get your tickets now. Thanks, Bela. Shout out to Nooch. Christopher's Bakery, our whole team, all the sponsors.
Yeah, shout out to the bakery, man. You know, he gave us some samples to go try.
Oh, wait.
So, you know, I'll go try.
That's right, man. And we're going to leave it right there, man. History of the Bay. Peace.
Recognize where you got the game. We got our own style, got our own slang. Northern California is a West Coast thing. This is the history of the Bay. Recognize where you got the game. We got our own style, got our own slang. Northern California is a West Coast thing. This is the history of the Bay.